Hello, welcome to another video. It's Saturday today. I've come in because tomorrow we're going off-roading. So I wanted to do a bit of work on the Defender. Oh, that's lighting me up. Because, yeah, we're going laning the Defender, and obviously I had problems, didn't I, when I come back from the Land Rover show with regards to the pipe. So I've had the dashboard all apart this morning, put all new lines through, rerouted them, put the breather back on that I nicked on the side of the road to get me home. So that's all done. So next job, let me show you the next job and then I'll tell you what happened last week and where I've been. Right, so here's the standard filter I bought a few weeks ago. You know, nothing special, it still looks good, no problems. But this is the ITG one that I bought from the Land Rover show. You can see it's oil covered. So I'll pull that out, put that in. Oh, I don't know, do I need to clean out the airbox first? No, I think that's all right. So I'll put this in. I can't go too deep tomorrow because I still haven't done my snorkel connection yet, but we'll get to that. I don't think there'll be any water at the moment. It's been very dry, so I'll put this in now. Right, so the filter's in. It is incredibly sticky. I thought it was very odd. I mean, you look down there, that's where I put the packet, and it's almost like glue. But when I've looked on their website, that's correct. That's what traps all the dust particles and stuff like that. So, yeah. So that's in. I'm going to put it back together, and then I'll tell you about last week. I was going to say, spot the difference, but you can't really with the grills on. But this one has got the TD5 front panel on, and this one hasn't. So I'm now going to change this one. Right, so last week I was away. A few weeks ago, where I take my cars and everything for MOT, my friend's garage. She asked if I wanted a job as a technician. Now, I've never professed to be a technician. I've never done training. I've only learned from experience on doing stuff on my own things and just having a go. So going into a busy environment, a full-time garage, working for someone as a technician, it's not for me. I've been employed before, didn't get on with it. 95% of my working career I've been self-employed. Probably why I've got no money. But anyway, so the question, continued, and the discussion was about MOT testing. Now, looking at online, it says about having to be employed for 4 years and you've got to have a level 3 technician's qualification. So I thought, oh, that's out as well. So my friend at the garage suggested I gave the training company a call just for a chat. So that's what I did. Spoke to them. They went, no, you don't need your level 3. You can do that here. I don't know if they've got a loophole or if it's just like speedy way of doing it, but I can go there for a week, do my course, get my level 3, and hopefully pass the MOT testing training. So I booked in and I went. So last Monday I did my ATA technician's training and passed the test on that. Then Wednesday, Thursday we did MOT testing procedure with the DVSA's MOT testing procedure on how you have to do an MOT to their standards, to their routine. To a sense, you haven't got to follow it to the letter, as in you can do different bits at different points in the routine, but this training company had obviously tried to slimline it so you can get around the MOT and get everything done in the quickest possible time. So I did that. So we learned obviously how to pre-check the car when it comes to a garage before doing an MOT, then how to do the interior checks, the underbonnet checks, the underside checks, all the lights, how to do all that, and then obviously the brake roller test and the emissions test. So we practiced those Wednesday and Thursday, with the test being on Friday. But they sprung a bit of a curveball on us and tested us on Thursday. So close of play Thursday, I think I was there till 10:30 at night. But thankfully I was the first one to be tested out of the group of 11, sorry. 3 of them went home and 2 more joined in. So 3 got sent home on the first day because they couldn't identify things under a bonnet. So anyway, so yeah, so Thursday I did my test. I found out Thursday night about 10 o'clock I passed. So I am now, then I had to go back in Friday to assist people who had failed on the Thursday and had to resit on the Friday. So I was their assistant, as in I'm in the car operating controls and stuff so they can have a look around. So anyway, so I am now eligible to be tested in front of the DVSA, and what that involves is I have to go and do an MOT test with a DVSA member of staff to ensure that I'm compliant and doing it correctly. As soon as I've done that, I can go MOT testing. So I am going to be an MOT tester at my friend's garage. I don't quite know how it's going to work 100% yet. We sort of discussed doing it 3, 4, 5 days a week, or doing full on 4 days and not the 5th, or whatever. You know, we can sort of work it out depending what bookings they get. So yeah, I'm now, or I will be hopefully very soon, a MOT tester and able to work anywhere that needs me. So obviously I'll put the feelers out to other friends who I know in the trade, different garages, so if they have holidays or sickness or something and they need a tester, they might be able to give me a call and I can go in and do that. So that's what I did last week. So in the last couple of months, I've done obviously the tractor loading telehandler course. I've now done the MOT course. I don't know if there's a third one I'm going to do, but anyway, so that's that. So that's what happened last week. Anyway, it's now Saturday afternoon. This is ready for a day of laning tomorrow, hopefully. So I'll see you back probably tomorrow and show you a bit of where we've been. Right, obviously I spoke to you on Saturday, it's now Monday. What I forgot to mention was that on Friday I went to Copart. Now I won a car on Monday. You have 3 days to pay, so that would be including the day of sales. That's the Monday, the Tuesday, Wednesday. So I paid on the Wednesday morning, that was fine, and I booked collection for Monday today. As it turns out, the fees on their website that say 7 days £20 storage, what it actually means is the first day you get charged £5, second day you get charged 10, third day you get charged 15, fourth day you get charged 20, as in each day. So if I'd have waited till Monday, it would have cost me £90 in storage. So my friend lives about 2 miles from Copart. So what we did Friday afternoon was we borrowed a tow pole, because you're allowed to tow out of Copart as long as it's on a solid tow pole. So we went over there with his Land Rover and towed this back to his house, and then today, Monday, I've come over to collect it from his. So I'll quickly show you what it is, then I'll get away and I'll show you when I get home. But we've bought another smart car, 2010 Smart 4.2. My plan is, my plan was to buy it to sell it, but actually this might end up being my commuting car once I start work at the garage. So anyway, let's get it home and then I'll show you some more of it when I get there. Right, after a couple of hours moving about, I've got the 2 chassis on the trailer ready to go to blasting. This is now in the workshop. The battery is dead as a doornail. We've got an odd wheel on the front, but we've got the wheel in the back with a split tyre, so that's probably why that is. It is a matte grey. I don't know if it's a wrap or that's the colour, but we've got leather bases, sides, and this. Unfortunately, this is cracked, but we might better do something with that. Yellow stitching. Steering wheel's got a cover on, but that's got the yellow stitching on it as well. I've put power to it, and we've got the 3 lines on the dashboard, and that normally means that's the gear selector, and that's why it won't start. But I need to charge or put a good battery in it and start afresh and see where we get. We've got a double DIN Pioneer head unit thing in it as well. So yeah, it's got just the back bumper's cracked a bit. That's all I can really see on it. So I think that's probably the damage. It probably got a little rear end and that was it. So yeah, So what we need to do is get a battery in it, see if it will do anything with a new battery in. If we've still got the 3 lines, we'll change the gear selector. I've done multiple ones of them now, as you've probably seen, and we'll see whether that resolves it. Otherwise, yeah, this could be my next daily. Shouldn't have sold the blue one, should I? But anyway, we made money on that, so hopefully we can get this done, and this will be a cheap car, and then I can use this to go backwards and forwards to work in at the MOT place. That's the plan anyway. So, right, it's now the end of the day, so I'll leave this here tonight. Tomorrow, I've got to go and take the seat out of a Rolls Royce and take it off to be fixed, and then I'm going to see Empire Tuning, so I'll show you that tomorrow. Right, today's job was taking the seat out of this Rolls Royce because it had cracked. Now, I've had it out and we've taken it over to a local welder. Because it had all cracked there, and someone had self-tapped a plate over it to try and hold it together, but it was useless. When I first drove it, I said, this doesn't feel right. But anyway, that's now been welded up. So we're going to put it back in. Fairly simple. Obviously, it's bolted here with these washers that go underneath. Well, sorry, nuts that go underneath. The fronts are the same with the square washers, nuts. But you have to slide the runners in the right place and go through the runner into that. I'll show you that when I get it back together. Oh, let that come off. So yeah, so we're just going to give that a quick coat of paint, and then we'll bolt this all back in. Right, so with those ones back in loosely, back in just to hold it, we've plugged the motor back in, so we can now move it backwards, and you can see the holes there. They line up with the bolt holes. So if we move the seat, oh, we can't. Need to turn it on first. Hang on. I just realised the footage from fitting the Rolls Royce seat back in has corrupted, so you haven't got all of it. But anyway, the seat went back in and it was all good, and it now doesn't wobble around like a jelly in a bowl. Right, we're here. First job is putting the stickers on. Right, so we have Empire's new, or the prototype of their new 90 stainless exhaust. We have it fitted on. We've only got the centre and the rear box at the moment. The downpipe needs a bit more work. So he's told me to take it away, have a try, see how we feel. We've got Oso Retro on Sunday, so we can see what it's like on the motorway. But at the moment, it sounds good. So thank you to Empire Tuning. I've got to let them know how I get on with it, and then we'll go from there. So let's get on the road. Right, so I've brought the chassis to Air Blast this morning, so they're going to lift them off and get them blasted for me. Right, I've just had this smart in. You've seen it many times before. I've just done a quick service on it because it's being sold. I didn't bother showing you because I've done it so many times before, but to get the oil out of these, you've got to suck it out the dipstick tube, and then the air filter, you've got to take off the induction pipe and the inlet pipe to be able to get the top of the airbox lid out, and then you can change the filter. So that's that. Also, it had EML light on. I've checked that, and it's EGR fault. So I told him about that, and he said it's fine, he'll come and collect it, and we'll sort that out another day. We'll see how if it's a constant thing, because he wants to take it for a good long drive because he just buzzes about locally. So yeah, so he's going to take it back for now, and then maybe we'll come back and have a look at the EGR. Otherwise that'll be gone. So we need to pull this in, get it on the lift and have a look. my doors come back from paint, so that's nice. Obviously we've got the wiper hole, and we've got big holes from the spare wheel mount. He's riveted all the other holes. We've got grommets to go in there, or the new spare wheel swing away carrier. I might bolt to that yet. We'll have to wait and see, but for now at least that's done and ready to go on. The hinges have also arrived. I've ordered brand new hinges as well. Nothing flash, just cheap new ones from a company in Liverpool. They're supposed to be HD ones, and they're just the same as the original but nicer, so we'll get that on as soon as we can. Well, this is interesting. I've come to take the battery out. Look at the state of it. Who thought that was a good idea? Anyway, I'm going to remove it and put a decent battery in here, and then we'll see what the car does. So the first thing I check for is brake lights, because the brake light switch also inhibits the starter, but as you can see, they're working. So looking at this wheel, the odd one, that'll be why the tyre blew out. Look, the spring broke and come off and obviously pierced the tyre. So if we can get it running, we've got to change one of those. That's how it should be, look, as you can see, sitting on the platform. So yeah, one spring is done. So with the gear selector changed, we now have got rid of the 3 lines. We've got neutral on the dash, but it won't start at the minute, it's just turning over. So I'm going to have to plug it in. Yeah, I remember the blue one did this when I changed everything and it had been off the road for a while. It just took ages to fire, and once it did, it was fine ever since. So what I'll do, I'll just plug it in and see if there's any codes that come up. There we go. A quick jump start. Sounds like it's turboed as well. I didn't know it had a turbo, but I can hear it whistling. Anyway, let's unplug the jump leads and see if it moves. Right, so obviously you saw it started. It did drive forward, but it juddered like hell. I've done a relearn on the clutch actuator again, and we've got the 3 lines back. So I reckon the clutch pack has actually gone exactly the same as the blue one. So I reckon I've got the gearbox out, put a clutch in. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that. Obviously I've done all that before on video. There's a how-to on there already, so I'm not going to go through it all again, but I'll come back to you when the box is off, and we'll see what we've got. I don't know if I'm going to do it now, like as in today, tomorrow, or whether I'll do it next week, but that's what I reckon's got wrong. So I've just ordered, well, I've just asked for a quote on a clutch kit and a clutch actuator, so we'll see what it comes back with. Right, I've decided I'm going to make a start on it this morning. I've watched my own video back as a memory jogger. It is going to be a bit different because of the turbo and the intercore and everything on the side there, so we'll have to see how that differs. But first it's going to be the same: get the wheels off, get the shocks off, get the springs out, and then we'll go from there. So I will just crack on. I will follow my video up until then, and then add in the bits that aren't on my video, and I'll also link my previous video in the comments, or the bio, whatever. So yeah, so let's get started. Just draining off the gearbox oil before I take the shafts out. We're getting there. There we go, the gearbox is out. I had to take a fair few more bits off than I did on the other one, including obviously the intercooler, the intake pipe off the turbo. I took off the back box, I took off the rear stabilizer, just to make a lot more room to get it out and to get to everything. So yeah, there we go. So now I've got to whip this clutch off, and we'll see if there's any damage to this like before. Right, well, it's out. It doesn't look knackered like the other one was, but it has got smart printed on it, so it might be the original, and it is down to the rivets. So hopefully that will, well, say hopefully, it needs replacing anyway, so it was worth doing. So I'm just waiting for the new one to turn up from Saks. Right, well, it's Friday morning. I've just given that a good wash down, ready for Oh So Retro this weekend. If you're there, come and say hello. But my poor Nan's drive is caked, so I've now got to pressure wash that off. But anyway, that's that. So from a sweaty me, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and if I see you at Oh So Retro, or if you see me at Oh So Retro, shall I say, come and say hello. Have a great weekend. See you later, guys.